the show is our vision for the future. And
Mm.
I'd like to kind of end with that. And my vision is that the three principles are the ultimate prevention for addiction. And that is really the ultimate cure for addiction, is to not become addicted in the first place. And so I believe it's very vital, and it's very key to get this information out to kids. And I know there's people already doing that, doing a really good job at that. And that's really going to be the future of this, because we can run from, one addicted person to another and help them, and I will continue doing that. But it's one person at a time, versus if you help the children understand that life isn't so damn serious. It's important, but not serious. you know it's take it lightly, take it, and don't get so caught up in your thinking. And that sometimes it's easier said than done. But the funny thing is, I catch myself nowadays, and it's funny. I actually just laugh at myself. It's like, there, I'm doing it again. And it became this funny game. And for a while I called it Fred, just because it was just kind of funny. So, oh, there's Fred again. And it was just my own little thing in my head where I'm like, oh, there's Fred again. And it just kept bringing to my attention that thought pattern, that busy, busy, busy mind that was always there. And I didn't even realize it. Because if you don't step away from something, it's hard to recognize it as being that. And it's kind of like most people, the area that they live in, they've gotten so used to what's around them, it's not a beautiful place. And I was one of those people for a long time. I live near a national park that's gorgeous, and I pretty much never went there. But it was through this changing and understanding where I started seeing the beauty of everything around me. Because we just get comfortable with things and used to things, even if it's not a comfortable thing. We can become comfortable with uncomfortable things. And I know we've all experienced that. And it's I don't know, the future is just really bright, because there's a cure for addiction. And this is it. It's so you don't have to have that issue anymore. It takes care of the core cause, so that the symptom of the addiction goes away. So that we're not trading addictions, which is what I did when I first put down, alcohol and pills and all the other stuff I was doing. But suddenly I started smoking more cigarettes and drinking more coffee and eating more sweets. And I mean, there was just all this stuff. I just switched from one addiction to another. So now I'm in this place where I have that freedom from that stuff, and I can take it or leave it. And I don't have to escape anymore. And it's a beautiful place to be. And that's where I really hope that everybody in the world gets to be. And hopefully sooner than later. And I believe that this pandemic has been a really good opportunity for a lot of people to slow down and really take a look at themselves, which is why so many people have been so freaked out. because they have to look at themselves. The distractions were taken away. There's no more 40 plus hours at work. There's no more, having to go shopping for this and go run and get that, run all these errands. Suddenly you just had to be with you. And it's a really good opportunity for people to just take that look at themselves. And I really hope that things never get back to normal. I hope that things get to a new normal after this pandemic is over. Because the old normal wasn't working. And I have a deep feeling that this pandemic was brought on by the collective human consciousness, that people had become so sick spiritually that it created this illness, that it created this problem that we're facing right now. And it's a change in human consciousness that's going to solve these problems. We are powerful beings, and we forget that we create things with our thoughts. So if we have 90% of the population that's carrying stressful thinking, the only possible response to that is more stress, more sickness, more illness, more disease, more addiction, more pain, more suffering. I hope we don't go back to that. Let's not go back to normal. Let's make a new normal together.
Beautifully said, Greg. Really beautifully said. That's, I can't really add anything to that. I really feel that's a fine way, the feeling I have. I'd like to just finish with a quote from Sid, because for me, that there's, well, Sid and I are joined at the hip. When I was attached to him, as I've talked a lot about, I just had cotton batting between my ears. But one day, it flowed through. And I love this particular quote. I'm really into this particular one. We are all puppets dangling on a string. The only thing is, guess who pulls the strings? It's yourself. If God pulled the strings, there would be no individuality. There would be no freedom. And everybody in the universe has total freedom for all things. I'm not sure the source of it, but it's Sydney Banks. And for me, it's inside, guys. It's inside. It covers everything that we all need to know. And let's face it, what Greg said, there is too much suffering in the world. I totally agree with that. And it's foolish. There's no need for it. Now that we have the message that is expressed through the three principles and by the living example of Sydney Banks, there's no reason for all of that. And so many of us on this show are living proof of that.